Hello, my dear friends. I am Stanislav Shamayev, a licensed business immigration and a corporate attorney here in Miami, Florida. And today we'll be discussing the L1 visa, intra-company visa, which is really good to do the startup business here in the US or buy an existing business. At the end of this video, you'll be able to know how to get a free analysis of your case. Let's go. But before we proceed, guys, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is a new channel on YouTube. But I can assure you this is the most exclusive and quality content you've ever seen on YouTube. So please support me so I produce more videos for you and you will know more about business and talent visas and other ways to immigrate in the United States of America. And also don't forget to subscribe to my Instagram channel and my TikTok, where I also post a lot of good content and really fast and actual and up to date, so you guys know what's going on. Let's do this. Alright, please make yourself comfortable, get popcorn, get a wine, get a beer, whatever you want, because it's gonna be a rather long video. But if you are a businessman who have at least 15 people in your business outside of the United States of America, you may qualify for this visa, come here in US, work, live, bring your family, and ultimately get a green card. So make yourself comfortable, we're going to begin. So L1 visa is the visa that originated back in 60s, where big car dealership, big car manufacturers outside of the US, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and other big companies wanted to bring the operations here in the United States of America and bring the executives and managers to start the new operations, to bring a lot of investment, create a job. So this visa was created. Later on, attorneys like me started using this visa for smaller and mid-sized businesses, and of course did not mention any big corporations. It only had requirements. So at this point the requirements are as follows. You must have the company outside of the United States of America where you work at least a year, and usually, not always, but many times, the person who is being transferred from the foreign company to the US is also an owner. So if you're the owner of that company and you're also an employee of the company, a CEO, CTO, some executive position, top manager, if it's a bigger company, you will be able to transfer yourself in your new American enterprise, or if you purchase an existing business. We'll talk about it later. You could be the owner and wanting to transfer one of your employees whom you trust and who is going to do a great job in the US, or you might be just an employee without the owning the company, but the owner of the company also owns the company in the US, and then you can arrange your transfer here in the United States of America. So L1 visa is for a person who worked in a company outside of the US in an executive or managerial position for at least 1 year. Stanislav, I heard about L1B. It's for a person with unique skills, unique understanding of the business. Yes, there is L1B, but we are not going to talk about L1B in this video, because then we're going to spend an hour. You know, I don't want to spend an hour. It's too much for you and for me. So we'll be talking about managers and executives. Further, you have to be a manager or executive. Who is a manager or executive? Who controls and directs other managing personnel, who also in turn manages other people. So in other words, imagine this triangle where you at the top of this triangle, there are people who are the managers who you control, and those managers manage the people who are at the bottom of this triangle. At least you have to have 15 people under your command, under your control. Out of those 15 people, at least 3 to 4 people have to be in a managing position. It's very, very important. You manage the managers, and managers manage someone else. And all these people who are under your control are 15 people plus. There are certain exceptions. There could be less than 15 people. But from my experience and the dozens and dozens of cases that I filed, I can tell you that less than 15 people is really hard, unless there's certain exceptions when we have a functional manager, or again, it's L1B. We're not going to talk about those very narrow exceptions. So if you've been in this position for over a year, managing the managers, and the managers manage other people, you will qualify to be transferred in the United States of America in the startup business or an existing business. Let's start with the startup business. What are the advantages and disadvantages, and what's the process? So the startup business is any company in the United States of America which has been operational for less than a year. Really important concept. It's not the company that has been open for more than a year. It's the company that has not been operational for more than a year, right? So an operational meaning doing regular business, buying, selling, consulting, whatever a business does. Anything less than a year is going to be a new office, a new startup business. In this case, all we need to show is that there is an open and registered company in the US. There is an office space where the company is going to be operating from, and the office should be as big as to have a capacity to get all the employees at the end of year 1 of operations after visa is approved. So again, the size of the office should be enough to have all the people who is going to be working in that office at the end of year number 1, including yourself. Then we should have a business plan, and we need to have a bunch of description papers that's going to describe the positions, your position, the company's operations, the location of the company is located, why this location was chosen, the structure of the company, and a bunch of other stuff. And a bunch of other paperwork that needs to be filed with the L1 petition. Stanislav, how many people I need to hire at the end of year 1 so I get an extension of visa for 2 more years? Because remember, the new office, startup business, gets 1-year visa with the 2-year extensions up to 7 years. So the minimum amount of people you need to hire is 5 people, out of which 1 or 2 must be also managers. So again, remember that a triangle we spoke in the beginning of the video, that triangle should be start realizing in the US. So end of year 1, it must be you, it must be 1 or 2 managers who manage 3 or 4 people under them. In that case, we will be able to show that you are actually an executive or the manager of this company. At the end of year 3, when we need to extend your company for another 2-year term, you must have at least 8 people working in the company with 2 or 3 managers whom you manage and who manage 4 to 5 other people. So again, we're recreating this, this pyramid, this triangle, whatever you call it, to show that you are the top manager or executive of this company. Now, if you're buying an existing business or the American company has been in operation for more than a year, that company has to have at least 8 people to begin with for us to be able to show that this company will be able to support your position as an executive or the manager of the company. Any additional person you might want to transfer from your foreign company to the US company must also get an additional 8 people to manage or control. And again, this is just a general description of a visa. Of course, there are certain exceptions. We can find different ways to do this. Maybe it's less people, maybe it's more people. But again, for your understanding, this is the amount of people we need to have in the company. Another criterion, which is really important, is the affiliation between the 2 companies, the foreign company and the American company. What's the affiliation? Is basically the same ownership of the companies. In other words, if a foreign company is owned either by a person or the group of people or another company, these same people, a person or a company, should own the company in the US, or a foreign company may also be an owner, the shareholder of the American company. So basically 2 companies are connected through the same people or through the same company. That creates affiliation between the businesses, and then these 2 companies will qualify for L1 visa. Stanislav, how much money I should invest into startup business to qualify for L1 visa? Well, very good question. I get it a lot. And I've done L1 visas with a budget of as low as $60,000 and to the infinity, to the eternity. It could be $500,000, $1 million, even much more. However, the average and I think realistic amount of money that you need to plan to invest in your US operations is $200,000 or more. Why? Just because to support the 5 people that you're going to hire at the end of year 1, if you do the simple calculations with at least $15 an hour for a regular employee and maybe $50,000 plus for a managing employee, you'll get the amount of money even more than $200,000 to begin with. Of course, you're not going to hire these people at the very beginning of the year. Most likely you'll be hiring them closer to the end of the year, but again, with other expenses, the office and the goods and services you need to produce, you'll spend a lot of money. So it could be done with 60, but realistically it's $250,000 plus, depending on your idea, on your business idea, on your business plan, and how fast you're going to scale your business. Also, a question I get a lot about L1 visas: do I have to do the same type of business in the US as I've done in my country, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Italy, in Britain, wherever the business is? And the answer to this question is no. You might have a restaurant or logistic company in your country, but may produce services or sell carpets here in the United States of America. So there is no connection between the type of business. However, we have to explain how your managing and or executive skills in your foreign country will be translated to the new type of business here in the US. I've done quite a lot of those cases, so there is no worry here, as long as you're qualified to do this new business here in the US. Who will be able to come on L1 visa here in the States? Well, it's you and your family. Who is your family? Your spouse and your children under 21 years old who are not married. Your children will be able to go to public school for free, or to the private school, of course, not for free. Or if they are of the college age, they will be able to go to college, and of course, you'll have to pay the tuition. As to your spouse, he or she will get L2 visa, L2 status, which means that they can work. And they will be able to work not only in your company, but also in any other company, or do their own business, regardless of what you do in the company for L1 visa. Sometimes we arrange the business on a less active spouse, if that spouse also worked in a foreign company, to have the more active spouse be able to get L2 status and be able to work in maybe other business or start a new business separate from L1 business. There are a lot of combinations. I discussed that at the immigration planning when we talk about possible options. How long L visa is good for? So this visa is good for 7 years. And again, if it's a startup business, it's 1 year status. Then by 2 years up to 7 years. If it's an existing business, then it's a 3-year status with 2 extensions for 2 years, but it's also 7 years. Stanislav, when will I be able to file for EB-1C, the green card, changing my status from L1 to green card? So you will be able to do this once your company grows to at least 8 employees under your control, 2 or 3 managers. And when I say 8 employees, it's plus, so 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, whatever that number is, and your company is profitable. How much profitable? Well, at least $50,000 to $70,000, but I want to see 100K profit in your tax papers to make a lot of pressure on the immigration officer when making my arguments on a green card. If it's a startup business, you have to wait for at least a year to file for EB-1C, the visa that gives you the green card, which is the same criteria as L1, but of the higher level. Same way as O-1 visa. Has the same criteria with EB-1A, but EB-1A is the visa with bigger talent, with more recognition. If you think you qualify for L1 visa, you can get a free analysis of your case by myself, something that other attorneys charge $300, I can give you for free. In order for you to get that, you have to follow the link below this video and fill out the questionnaire that I prepared special for you, but do it very, very detailed, so I can give you a better analysis of your case within 48 hours. Press that like button if you like this video, if you want me to create more videos like this and create a very high quality content, exclusive content, which you will not find anywhere on YouTube. This was Stanislav Shamayev, the lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.